What's going on, everybody? My name is Ben and welcome back to the bench for another episode of Ben Builds. Now, I know we should be working on the Skyray, but instead I've gone ahead and decided to do something a little different. We're going to go ahead and do a stash update today and a channel announcement. So let's go ahead and dive right on in here and get started. I promise next Monday we'll have episode 7 for the Skyray, but until then, let's check out what we picked up. First thing here is I picked up this 1/48 scale Dauntless SPD-1 for the United States Marine Corps in Pearl Harbor colors. This is an Academy kit, and I believe this is actually a reboxing of an old Accurate Miniatures kit, if I'm not mistaken. Either way though, I've heard really good things about this particular model, and I'm super excited to go ahead and eventually one of these days build one. I haven't actually built one of these kits since I was a kid, and I built the old monogram kit that was kind of gimmicky, had a little lever on it that you would pull that would drop the bomb, but I haven't really had one for the display shelf. And this is going to be, I think, a pretty accurate rendition of a Dauntless, and it will look great on the display case shelf. As you can see, there are a lot of parts here in the kit, and they all look really clean, very nicely molded. The one thing I will say are the dive brakes are kind of thick. Either that should be replaced, or we need to drill them out, sand them down or something, make them a little bit thinner. But other than that, the parts look pretty decent. We're even given 2 different canopies, one for closed and one for open. Probably going to go ahead and do the open one if I can get the detail level up to where I like it, but this should be a really nice addition to the stash. Like I said, 1/48 scale, United States Marine Corps SPD Dauntless in Pearl Harbor markings. This should be a lot of fun to build, so stay tuned for this at some point. Now, if you know me and you watch the channel for a while now, you know that I absolutely love Cold War jets, and especially the early 50s jets. So I went out and I picked up this right here. This is a 1/48 scale Academy F86F Sabre, and this is going to be hopefully one of those other builds in the future where I can maybe build some adversaries, you know, MiG-15 and F86, something like that. Now, this is a really nice looking model here. We can see we've got detailed areas like the machine gun bay, and of course the air brakes, the engine, all those lovely parts. So I'm really excited to go ahead and give this one a try. Now again, the Sabre is one of my favorite early 50s jets. It's natural metal, so that's a little bit of a daunting task, but I think we should be able to handle it at some point. Like I said, it'd be really fun to go ahead and build this along with a MiG-15 and have kind of an adversarial, matchup. That'd be really cool as well. I've never built a Sabre before, so this would be a really great addition to the stash and a really fun project in the future. Now, moving away from military aircraft, guys, I actually had an opportunity to pick up a couple of sci-fi kits, so I thought I'd go ahead and show you guys what I picked up. Now, I don't know if anyone's watching Strange New Worlds, the new Star Trek show, but if you haven't, I definitely recommend checking it out. I don't know if it's for everybody, but I'm really enjoying the show as it is. It feels like a return to the original classic Trek for me, and I really appreciate that. But after watching it, I had to go out and pick up a kit, and I'm really excited to go ahead and build it. This is the 1/1000 scale USS Enterprise from Star Trek Discovery. We first saw this in the end of season 1, I believe, in Star Trek Discovery. It featured pretty prominently through a couple of scenes in season 2 as well. And once I saw it on the screen, I thought, I've got to build this at some point. This is a 1/1000 scale version though, so this is actually a lot bigger than the one they had released previously, which was 1/2500th. And this looks like a fantastic model. Now, the cool thing about this is this should be pretty awesome for lighting. Let's go ahead and open the box here and I'll show you what I'm talking about. As you can see, we've got some pretty decent sized parts, beautifully molded, and there's a lot of openings already pre-drilled out for a lighting kit, which is awesome. And if you look right here, these are all the clear parts, meaning that these will transmit light very nicely throughout the saucer, throughout the engine area, throughout the secondary hull, and then of course windows and portholes and all that. So we should be able to make a really interesting looking model kit, because I think this would be a really nice addition to my USS Kelvin that I have, which is about, I think, the same scale. So I'm really excited about this particular project. The one thing I do have to say is they don't actually include any Aztec markings, and there are some really intricate Aztec detailing here on the actual saucer and all over the ship itself. So that might be something to purchase a little bit later. They also give you an option of purchasing a lighting kit. Now, Polar Lights did create something that does give you the major areas all lit up. It gives you the registry numbers, it gives you that little window in the front here, it gives you the bridge, it gives you, of course, even the spinning motors for the Bassard collectors on the nacelles, and then any other detail like the side of the nacelles, different portholes, the impulse engines, all that good stuff. So you can buy that, and it runs about 80 bucks, maybe a little bit over, like 85. Unfortunately, it doesn't give you a couple of the blinking nav lights. Now, they have another lighting kit out there by Tenna Controls I was looking at that does give you all of that and more. So I'm kind of thinking that might be a better way to go. Not that the plug and play Polar Lights kit would be that bad, but I wanted to go ahead and see what the Tenna Controls has to offer. So I might look into that at some point. Though it's not going to be anything relatively soon, I need to do some more research and need to figure out some references and whatnot. But that should be something that I'm going to jump into. Like I said, beautiful ship, and it should be a really fun project. Now, a couple of weeks ago, the girlfriend and I went down to Star Wars Celebration. And that is a very large Star Wars convention that was held down here in Anaheim, California, which is not too far from where I currently live. And I gotta tell you, it was a fun moment. A lot of really cool models, a lot of really cool dioramas, a bunch of panels, and a very large exhibition room where you could go ahead and buy, collectibles and all that good stuff. Now, I went in specifically looking for one thing, and I ended up finding something, though I didn't end up purchasing it there on the floor. I actually ordered it online. So here it is. This is probably one of the largest models I have yet to purchase. This is an Imperial Star Destroyer by Zvezda, and it is a big model kit, guys. I don't know if you can really get the size of it, but it dwarfs my desk. It absolutely dwarfs it. And this would be an awesome project for a full-on lighting kit. This is 1/2700 scale, so it is pretty big, made by Zvezda, also put out by Revell at the same time. So there are two different versions of this particular kit, and this thing is, like I said, massive. Just to give you an idea, this is about as big as my table of my desk that I build on. This is about the same size. Now, I also have a Venator class Star Destroyer from the Republic era, so that would be fun to build along with that, and I do have a lighting kit for that one, but I don't have any lighting kit for this one just yet. I might have to go ahead and work on that for a future project. But let me go ahead and open up the box here and show you just how big this model is. I mean, just to give you an idea, it even has its own carrying handle. That's how big this box really is. Let's go ahead and open it up and show you the parts. This is the camshell box. We open up the front end here and we are greeted with 3 compartments with all the parts you need to build a pretty epic sized Star Destroyer. So let's go ahead and just kind of give you a rough idea. I have to actually stand up to get my hands back in the frame. That's how big this box is. It doesn't look too difficult to build though. There's not a lot of parts, but there's enough to be significant. The biggest thing is the size. Let me go ahead and show you. This is half of the Star Destroyer. Rear half of the hull, you can see we got the front half right there. If we go ahead and put these together, you can see how big this kit really is. The camera doesn't necessarily do it justice. It is absolutely monstrous. And it's a really nice detailed kit too. We have areas that are raised, we have some of the side turbo lasers, a really nice looking model. And I gotta tell you, if I can eventually get up enough guts to build this, put some lights in this, man, this thing would look epic. Now, I saw Plasmo build up this exact same Star Destroyer, and he did a fantastic job of lights, and I think he put sound in as well. I don't plan on doing anything that extreme, but it would be really awesome to go ahead and build this and throw a lighting kit in there and just display it somewhere. It would literally have to be a coffee table though, to be honest, but this would be a really fun project and it would look awesome next to my Venator, if and whenever I do build those. But there you go, guys. As you can see, I picked up a couple of really cool models and I'm super excited to go ahead and start working on different projects and add these into the rotation. I will say though that going to Star Wars Celebration did actually boost my interest in sci-fi modeling once again. So this week, we should have a return of Sci-Fi Wednesdays. I want to go ahead and finish off the Millennium Falcon, the Lando Calrissian version. I want to get that done, build the base, get all the lighting squared away, and get that thing finished so I can move on to another project. And speaking of that next project, I want to give a big shout out and thank you to my buddy Kenny over at HobbyLink International, HLI. He sent me something in the mail that I was not expecting that I'm going to be using on the next sci-fi build, and that sci-fi build is going to be Star Trek. And no, it's not the Polar Lights Disco Enterprise. No. It's something different. But we first have to finish off the Falcon. Honestly, I want to get that done. So until our next episode, guys, you know the drill. Go out there and get yourself some bench time, have some fun, build something cool. We'll see you back next week with more Skyray action, and we'll see you on Wednesday for some sci-fi awesomeness. Until then, stay safe, take care, and we'll see you soon.